TNA Wrestling. Alright, TNA Wrestling. You know, I gotta say this. Before we get started, unrelated to pro wrestling, I gotta say this. Living in New York, I'm saying this truthfully, as someone who was born and raised in this city. Living in New York, you never, ever cannot be surprised by something. Even if you've seen everything, you always see something new. Let me give an example. I have to go to physical therapy because of my physical disability. As I'm coming home, I got something to eat. As I'm walking down the street, I see a woman about to pass by me. She's wearing big sunglasses over her eyes. Guys, if you've never been to New York City nearing summer or when it is summer, if you've ever been curious about how people dress in New York, let me throw a little bit of drama on you. Let me give it to you like this. This woman that I saw, that she was not very, as they say, caked up. She was not thick. She was thin. You could say she almost had the build of a model, literally. I'll give it to you like this. If anyone's seen Japanese animation, and you see those really thin, skinny girls who's not heavy-chested, but kind of has that little opening in the legs, that's what she had. Now, here's the thing, which got me, and I'm going like, why the fuck am I watching this? Why am I the one, me, walking down the street seeing this sight? Because this woman is wearing a jacket, a short jacket that comes up to maybe just below her breasts. Because she's not heavy-chested. She's maybe C-cup. But here's the thing. That happens in New York. Women here do not dress normally like in other parts of the country or in the world. Not all the time. There are places, maybe in California, that may dress like that. Definitely in California. But when you see women here in New York, there's a lot of times they will show their business all here. Because this woman was wearing a mesh shirt, like, what is it? Silk mesh shirt, like spiderweb, but it's not like it was dark, so it you wouldn't be able to see the business there. You wouldn't be able to see the boobs and nipples, nothing. That didn't happen. It was light, like a lightish color, and you can see everything. The titty and nipple all at once. I'm walking past her with my food in one hand and my cane, because I do have to walk with a cane. And this woman's literally titties are hanging out. And she's walking by me. Now, there was a caveat with this. If you see her and if you didn't understand like I do, you would say, shit, that woman look good. She got titties showing. She's built like a model. She got little opening in between her legs, like something from Japanese animation. Shit, I want to jump it. But you couldn't. Because the woman was sick. That's another thing you learn from New York. That women here, sometimes when they dress like that, it's not because there's something generally wrong with them. That's the style of New York. But you will notice that some of these women who literally are wearing very skimpy stuff, some of them, not everybody, a small amount of them, are sick. Either drug-related, COVID-related, or maybe AIDS-related, or maybe something else. This woman passed by me. She was barely able to walk. And understand, those titties were showing. Those nipples were showing. She's going into a fast food place, and she looks like she's about to fall over and drop. That is a surprising thing you would see in New York. And never ceases to amaze me. I know this has been 4 minutes. I'm sorry. I had to say this. Let me give it to you like this. We got a long while before Against All Odds. That comes out in June 14th. So we still got a little bit of time to go. But they're trying to build into Against All Odds. Opening match. The first match. The System versus Ryan and Matt Hardy. I actually kind of messed up. That's why you see a cut here. I actually got the Helping Hands, who were supposed to work with Cody and Jake, mixed up with the System. And when it came to Brian and Eddie, I got them mixed up. I have no problem saying it, because maybe someone will learn from my mistakes. if you ever become a podcaster yourself. But let me give it to you like this. The match was fine. In the end, the faces won. You know what happened. And then we got the beatdown. We got Moose coming out. And then Nick coming out. Now, let me give it to you like this. I felt this. Now, this wasn't just from the previous video that I did that I had to cut up. But it was something I was thinking. Because I knew that sooner or later, Nick and Ryan had to team up in TNA. They're both there at this moment. Nick is still signed to TNA. We don't know what his contract is. We don't know how long it is. Understand this. You guys may like Nick. You might like Mustafa Ali. But we don't know how long those contracts are. They could be for 9 months to a year. They're not doing a multi-year deal as far as we know. And now Ryan Nimitz is on the same brand as Nick. Even though Nick is traveling around and he is the triple A, I believe, World Heavyweight Champion at this moment. And unfortunately, we did not see him bring out the title, which I think they should, because isn't Triple A been working with TNA? What's the problem with them showing the title on there? I don't know why, but that's just me. It seems to be alright, seeing he had that moment with Santino, with his brother, and Matt. And Matt made it very clear that only brothers know each other. We know each other so well. These two will win. Because by that time, Matt did get his opportunity to go up against Moose. First time ever at Against All Odds. And now we're going to get Nick and Ryan at Against All Odds. Which I knew eventually was going to happen. But I didn't know when. And if it would be near the end of the year or the middle of the year. Now it's going to be at Against All Odds. We're going to have them there. I don't know who's going to win. It's going to count on how they develop before Against All Odds on the 14th. It's not too far away from now. So this is what you get. Now, the Rascals versus some jobbers. Now, I had to go to the bathroom by near the end of the match. So I don't know what happened. But I have to take a guess. The Rascals won, and maybe, just maybe, we got Macklin coming out. So I don't know what happened in that match. You guys can tell me below. But as far as I can tell, the Rascals went up against two guys that are jobbing. And that's good. We got to see more people from the outside that job or do enhancement talent for our own damn people. Like I've said before, TNA, Impact Wrestling formerly, has one major problem. They have a very small roster, and worse yet, that roster is not pinned down. And worse, on top of that, they either choose not to be pinned down, they do a contract, if they do one, it's either for 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year, maybe multi-year, depending on how much money they get. But most of them do maybe 6 months. Maybe. And that's if they don't just do a couple of tapings for a couple of months, get paid, get some tapings, and then disappear. Like the Grizzled Young Vets, where are they? I don't think they're signed to TNA. But if they are, they're gone for a while, and they'll come back because they're going to be working the circuit. That's one of the major issues that I know many people that would love this because we don't see them all the time. But one of the big flaws of it compared to TKO WWE and AEW, or maybe if you want to say New Japan Pro Wrestling easily, because that's one of the other promotions in the world that is well known, one of the major problems is that because the people keep rotating around so much, it doesn't feel like they have a full roster. No matter if you see their website and you see like maybe 60 people there, not counting women, it doesn't feel like it is. Because you don't see those people. Look, if you look on the website, Su Yung is supposedly still on the roster. Where is she? We have not seen Su Yung in years. In years. And that is Rick Swan's wife. And they had a kid. Where is Su Yung? It doesn't make a difference that someone says, oh, she's on the independent circuit. You should watch this. I'm not watching it. Because she's not in TNA and she's on their roster. She's not on the Armada, I believe. The last time I looked, that was only about a month or two ago. She's still on the main roster as far as I can tell. Moving on. Cody and Jake. Cody basically calls out Jake. Cody apologizes. And he openly states to the fans and to Jake, what Jake did last week was a receipt. And I deserved it because of how badly I treated him. But I'm sorry. He apologizes. And he says, look, I want to shake your hand. I want to make up for it. And it's not just about what I want or what you want. It's what the fans want. And as Jake is considering it, the helping hands come out. And they mess with him. And they mess with Jake, trying to make it like Jake is stupid because he's all big and muscle and no real brain. And then they fight. Santino comes out and makes a Kentucky Fight Club match when there was no outside weapons used. It wasn't like it was a street fight. It was just something in name just to give them something special because they were in Kentucky. And to be honest, that didn't need it. They didn't need to do a Kentucky Fight Club thing. That was stupid. It just sounded bad. But was it a good match? Yeah, it was fine. In the end, who was the one that ate the pin? The one who ate the pin was Skyler, I believe. And Jake got it over him. But Cody won the handshake. He got one. Now, I'm sure people will say, oh, the Deaners are back. No. Jake Something's own character is way better than Cousin Jake. And Deaner's current character, not Cody Deaner, is better than it was when they were the Deaners. I'm sorry. It's just, they're both better now in their new characters and their new gimmicks. If they actually make them revert back to the Deaners, I will tell you right now, and I will say it then and I'll say it now, it is a downgrade. It is a stupid thing to do. Do not turn them into the Deaners again. They don't need to be the Deaners. You got Jake Something, you got Cody Deaner. They can team up on and off. Fine. But they should not revert back to their old characters. If they do, it is the biggest mistake that this creative has made yet. Because they have no idea what to do with Cody and what to do with Jake. I'm saying it now. You may love it. Doesn't make a damn difference. It is how it looks to everyone else. That's just the deal. The truth. Now, next. Jordynne Grace versus Marty Bell from the Hex. And TNA was willing to say that she was a NWA World Tag Team Champion, which I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they did. Shame they didn't do it with Nick Nimitz being the AAA champion right now. But she was a former NWA Tag Team Champion with Allison Kay. No problem. I actually did reviews of NWA. Haven't really seen it lately. I don't even know if it's good or not. You go on the YouTube channel, it's a big mess over there. But what did we get in this match? Was it good? No. It wasn't that good. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not against Marty. I'm not. I don't hate Marty. I'm not against Marty. But Marty looks sloppy in the ring. Now, it's mostly due to the fact that I'm sure she has no familiarity with Jordynne Grace. And that made the match a bit sloppy. Yes, she worked with Jordynne. And she could do the work with Jordynne. But you can tell they had no real chemistry. That's probably due to the fact that they never worked together before. And it's obvious. That's why she was sloppy. That's why I'm saying it. But in the end, we knew that Jordynne was going to win. Which she did. And as she's leaving, and I don't know if I'm putting any images in here, but when you look at Ash of Elegance stand-in, it will be in my face if I choose to put any images in. Ash of Elegance stand-in is stupid. Ash actually got a hematoma on the lip, where she supposedly got hit in the face with those brass nuts with that fake jewelry on it, and supposedly knocked one of her teeth loose, and she's got to get it fixed. I know that feeling. I got to get braces eventually. You see the grill here? Knocked out of position because of my wisdom teeth. I got to get them straightened out if possible. Counting if it takes a decade or not. Ugh. And how much money does it cost? Guys, I know a fact that getting braces just on the top is going to cost me. But Ash is out because she's got to get her tooth fixed. Minor surgery. But we got to stand in with a mannequin, and you see the Iceman, the connoisseur, pouring fake, not real liquid into her. That's what we got. Anyway, she basically gets nailed by Allison Kay, And Marty said, what, you think I came by myself? The hex, well, there is a hex in TNA. I think that might be my title. Now, I want to say this. Marty has been in TNA. Allison's been in TNA. Both of them are very familiar with the company. Now, counting on how long they stay will actually be a good thing because now we get two new women that could work with Jody Threat. Danny Luna could work with Zaya Brookside, could work with Tasha Steelz, counting if Tasha is going to stay because I will talk about her in a minute. It counts if these two are going to stay for a while. If it's not going to be like 2 months and maybe 4 shows, it counts on how long they'll stay. I'm kind of hoping they'll stay for a while, more than 2 months. Because we need more women there. We do not have Havoc. Havoc is gone. Alicia is working with, well, I think they're going to be probably showing up, messing with Alicia and Marsha Slamovich because they are a tag team. But they can still do singles matches. We need more with the Knockouts division because it's so empty. It's empty. It feels empty. It looks empty. It is empty. They don't bring out any jobbers for Win Bailey. I'm just saying, moving on. Now, Jody Threat and Tasha Steelz, they've been losing a bit. Spitfire. So this is supposed to try and bring back a little bit of that fire in Jody Threat. Then we got Tasha Steelz, who we not seen in months. She came back for a little while, then she disappeared, and now she's back again. So we get this match. Tasha Steelz win. But hopefully she will stay. That's the problem. You give these wins to women, but if they're not going to stay and there's no story built behind them, it feels empty. Yes, Jody Threat has been losing. Danny Luna's not too happy. We got basically the guy from, I forgot his name, Rancid there. And they have a story to a certain extent, but that's if they're shown on TNA Impact, which they haven't. We haven't seen any backstage segments of them talking, unless you're going to be doing that on Explosion, which I don't watch. It feels empty. That's a major problem they need to sort out. I'm just saying. Now, I got to say this. When it comes to, I'm not going to talk much about ABC in their match next week. I'm leaving that. I'm going to talk about Jonathan Gresham and what they're doing with him as the octopus spitting up black ink and basically making Kushida sick and making one of the refs sick to the point where Santino calls him up and says, look, ever since you came back, ever since you've done your matches, people have been getting sick. So what the deal is here, next match you do, the ref is going to wear gloves and a mask, and we're going to be very careful about what's going on. This is the deal. And then we see a phone and possibly Jonathan's hand, it looked like it, and he grabs it and gets the text message. Well, not the text message, the message. He gets it, he grabs his phone. I am very curious to see what they're going to do with this because, let's make this clear, it feels like COVID, a representation of COVID in Jonathan Gresham. That now, as the octopus, whatever was truly inside him in that final mask that has now been removed, it is toxic to everyone who comes near him, and it comes out in a black goo. 100%. He'll spit it up, he'll cough it up, and he'll give it to somebody on the face. They got it now. The question is how far they're going to go with this. I'm saying it now. I don't know. Final match. Speed, I know someone wants me to say it the other way and I'm not doing it. No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying the name that Matt Hardy had given Speedball Mike Bailey. Not doing it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Everyone else likes it. For me, I don't like it. I'm telling you right now. I can understand why everyone likes what Matt Hardy had christened Speedball Mike Bailey. But because he's not working with Matt Hardy much at all, they had that little moment of being House of Hardy, which I would have more than happy to say that name more all the time. But if it counted on if it's constant, if it's not constant, I have no interest in calling him that other name. And I know there's going to be someone say, oh, come on, please. No, that name is connected to Matt Hardy. He christened that name, stating that you are now a part of the House of Hardy. If he's not part of the House of Hardy, we don't see him working with House of Hardy, along with Trent Seven. Why are you going to keep calling it? I don't care about it. I want to see him work with Matt until the point where there's something special that happens between all three of them, and I'm not getting it done. Don't care. So I'm not doing it. Not because I don't care about Speedball, don't care about Trent Seven, don't care about Matt Hardy, but if you're not having them all together and that moniker is not connected to them, and we spend a couple of months doing it, not just 1 week and he's named that. No. Now, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Trent Seven. Whoever wins is now the number one contender for the X Division Championship going into Against All Odds. Good match. Seeing that Trent, who is not fast, but is a solid, strong guy, compared to Mike Bailey, who is a fast guy, does fast strikes, compared to Trent, who also does fast strikes, but also more powerful strikes. It was interesting. Seeing them started smacking, well, let me give it to you like this. Seeing Speedball, not saying it, smacks Trent on the back. And everyone knows you don't do that. And he apologized and said, here, let it happen. They start hitting each other in the back. They start chopping each other in the chest. You get Ali coming out with his entourage of the Secret Service, the DSS. And we get all of this going on, which was fine. Then Speedball accidentally nails a Mustafa Ali in the face. Then we get Champagne Singh interfering in the match, messing over Speedball, and then seeing Trent win when he didn't realize that had happened. And now we got that. I don't know where... Here it is. Champagne Singh is a major issue due to the fact that we hadn't seen him much at all. And then he's doing this out of nowhere. If they do not give us a vid pack in the back or some type of segment in the back to explain why he did that, it was a waste of time. I'm sure they will, but if they don't, I'm saying it now. That was a waste of time if they just abandon it without trying to explain it. But this is just me. I will say that the show was pretty good. I know, almost forgot. I know someone's going to say, dude, what about PCO and Staff Delander? Yes, he's calling for Staff. Yes, I know he's calling for that mysticness, Miss Cake of the Australian outback. Mysticness, he's screaming for that. He's screaming for the wallaby-loving, jumping around and everything Staten Lander. Question's going to be how far they're going to go with this. Are they going to have them in a real relationship? Please do not do a wedding thing, please. If TNA does a wedding segment between Staff Delander and PCO, I'm calling it now, it'll suck. Because someone's going to have to come in and end it. And if it's not Matt Cardona, who's supposed to be her boyfriend, who basically is hurt and is currently, again, the GCW general manager, this is what you get. Peace.